What's up, guys? Hope you are well. Welcome to another episode of Industry Changers podcast. And today we have industry changer Mrinali with us. B- To catch your attention, I just want to let you know why we are interviewing her. Mrinali went from zero, leaving her high-level HR job, to making 7.2 lakh rupees a month with her online fitness business, while becoming the number one coach for busy women, busy women with demanding careers in the country. And today we'll be discussing her journey in depth from each and everything. So we'll be discussing her life journey, life before business, what made her leave her job. Because, from perspective of a lot of people, that was literally a dream job. She was at a good level. Then we'll discuss where she is right now, what steps we took to get from zero to 7.2 lakh rupees a month over this over the last couple of years, and what are the future goals, and what are the top tips from Mrinali. And this is the part मैं जिसके लिए बहुत ज़्यादा excited हूँ. So
Yeah.
Mrinali, welcome to the podcast, and how do you feel right now?
Thank you, Yash. Super excited. I was hoping to be on this podcast, when we started FBE. FBA में तो हमने
Yes,
करा ही था.
yes.
And I remember the first conversation when you onboarded me for FBE. You said that I'm super excited because I know you're going to get great results.
Hmm,
That one line stuck with me. Of course, it was encouragement, but then responsibility bhi aa gayi that
hmm.
I don't have to
Yes,
put you down. So
yes.
super excited. Exactly 1 year later.
So question for you before we start with the journey, where do you get this confidence from? Because from what I remember, you left your job before starting with FBA, right? So where do you get the confidence from? Because I am not that confident when it comes to stuff. Plus, another thing, I still remember that day when I told you that, because I saw the confidence. I was like, dude, if this kind of confidence and trust in process is there, we are gonna kill it.
I don't know. Actually, मैं ये नहीं बोलूँगी कि मैं बहुत कॉन्फिडेंट हूँ when I don't get self doubt.
Hmm.
ऐसा नहीं है. But I think what has I'll go back to childhood and say that
Yes.
I have always been encouraged and told that you're a smart kid. So, which I now feel is actually very important because आप जो reinforce करते हो बच्चों में,
Hmm.
that is
Yes.
very important. So, because I've always been told you can do this by my
Hmm.
parents and then my husband, so
Hmm.
I feel कि हाँ मतलब मेहनत करेंगे तो हो जाएगा. And I also
Hmm.
have seen in this business, मेहनत
Hmm.
करते हैं, काम करते हैं तो होता है. So
Hmm.
I just knew that I have to put in the work, which doesn't scare me. Putting in the work doesn't scare me.
And I think it scares 99% of humans, including me, putting in the work. Because बहुत बार ना हम अपने माइंड में ये अटैच कर लेते हैं कि यार what if it doesn't happen. बट आपके
हाँ.
केस में मैंने वो चीज नोटिस करी, एंड आपने बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग पॉइंट बोला दैट सिंस योर चाइल्डहुड यू हैव बीन रीइंफोर्स्ड पॉजिटिवली. इस पे एक्चुअली स्टडी भी हुई थी दैट टू ग्रुप्स, एक ग्रुप को कहते हैं यू आर स्मार्ट ग्रुप, एक ग्रुप को कहते हैं यू आर डम ग्रुप, एंड इट लिटरली ऑल ऑफ देम आर द सेम. बट एंड रिजल्ट देखते हैं जिनको सिर्फ आपने स्मार्ट बोला हुआ है, लेबल किया हुआ है, बेसिकली पॉजिटिव लेबलिंग करी हुई है, देयर स्कोर्स वर मच हायर. तो
Yeah.
reinforcement works
Reinforcement.
like crazy, and I think it comes handy when it comes to coaching also. And
Yeah. So true. Yes.
yes, so Mrinali, those who are viewing this podcast or this channel for the first time, थोड़ा सा हमें बताओ that what your business is, exactly what do you do, and in depth who do you actually help, because
Yeah.
the way you have been able to position yourself, literally the leading coach in such a short time, and specifically working with a certain strata of women. वो भी समझाओ कि exactly who are you working with and how are you helping them.
Yeah. So I work with women who have extremely demanding careers. They are very smart. They know
Hmm,
how to go in the boardroom and kill a presentation. They are juggling family, life, everything, work. But when it comes to their body,
hmm,
they don't take care of themselves. And initially they were all in this hustle culture that we have
hmm,
to make it, we have to get this position, get this promotion. Us
hmm,
chakkar mein body and health पीछे रह गई कहीं. So
hmm,
these are the women I help, that now some of them have ended up with health issues, which is why
hmm,
they are here. Some of them actually come and tell me that I walk into a room, I have to give a presentation to the
hmm,
board. I don't feel confident in the way I'm looking. I want to look good in my office clothes, feel confident. I want to play with my children without getting tired. So these are the kind of women that I work with, super high achieving, demanding career women who now also want to do something about health and fitness.
So basically, women who are already winning in certain areas of life, but
Yeah.
their health is like gone, and that's where you come in, and you
Yes.
just complete the circle, make it full
Yes.
circle by fixing her health. That is awesome. So, एक चीज बताओ कि how did you stumble into this? Because this is a very specific niche, and one thing which I don't understand is that if someone is already at that level, they are very smart. Otherwise,
Yes.
also that while choosing a coach, also they would think 100 things and stuff like that.
Right.
So, question for you is, how did you stumble across this niche? Why just this niche? Because I have seen you reject so many clients, not because you don't want to work with them, but you just want to specialize and just lead the way for these women. So, does it have something to do with your life before life and your career before starting a fitness business?
Definitely. So, because I come from one of the best B schools, I don't mean
Hmm,
it as a brag,
hmm,
but I've, when I graduated from college, there were certain kind of doors that opened for me.
hmm.
Then certain
What
kind
was what school was that, by the way?
of Narsi Munji, Mumbai.
Okay,
Okay.
I've heard the
So,
name. Yes.
yeah. So, super smart kids. You go there and you feel like, oh my God,
Hmm,
everybody's so smart. Okay. And then they go into these great jobs. And these are the kind of people who then become your colleagues. And that's
hmm,
how you network. And then
hmm,
I, one was my network that, when I quit my job,
hmm,
these were the kind of people who knew me, had a certain level of trust in me, and came to me
hmm,
for coaching. So some of it was
hmm.
organic, and some of it was also because I understood their problem so well that I knew that, okay, this is the person I can help. Maybe I'm not the best person to help a student. Maybe I'm not the
Yes.
best person to help somebody who is like like these are the kind of people that I specifically identify with. Truly get what it means to
Hmm,
excel, to be all consumed by your job, that there is a boss जिसने
hmm.
डेडलाइन दी है and that's looming on your head, and उससे कैसे आप all consume हो जाते हैं and how your health can take a back seat. I truly get it, and I know I can. These are the people I can help the best.
If I may ask, what was your job when you left the job? I know that you were at a very good post. A lot of people look up to that. What was the exact post? And did it, does your own fitness journey have a link with that? I just want to know, how did it start? कि आपके मन में first time कब आया कि यार, okay, I want to be a coach? Because I do remember कि अपनी first conversation में भी you were like, I want to do this and that is the only thing I want to do. You were not like trying, okay, I want to become a fitness coach. I'll try this, then we'll see. You were
Right.
like, I want to do this, and you have done that. So I want to ask that, how did it start in your mind? And, how was your work life after your college? And, what was happening in life then versus what is happening right now?
So actually, where this bug got into me is goes way before the job also. That when
Mm.
I got out of school, this was 2006, dinosaur years
Yes.
ago. So
Yes.
I got bitten by this bug of losing weight, and
Yes.
मैंने सब कुछ ट्राई कर लिया एंड हो भी गया. फर्स्ट टाइम व्हेन यू ट्राई, यू यंग, you're एक्टिव, फटाफट
Yes.
रिजल्ट भी आ जाते हैं.
Always.
एंड उस टाइम में एक्सरसाइज पनिशमेंट लगती थी, लेकिन एंड
Yes.
2006 में कुछ एक्सपोजर नहीं था. जिम कैसे होते थे? जिम भी ना लड़कों के अलग और लड़कियों के अलग होते थे. लाइक इफ देयर इज अ मेन जिम, यू एज अ वुमन वोंट गो देयर.
Right.
एंड वुमेन के लिए होता था जुम्बा, एरोबिक्स, ऑल ऑफ दोस थिंग्स. तो वो सब की जर्नी चली. एंड इट्स एक्चुअली व्हेन आई वेंट टू एमबीए, मैंने अपनी ग्रेजुएशन फिजियो में करी. नॉट अ वेरी वेल
Mm.
पेइंग career, which was a very big shock to me when
Mm.
I went out looking for
Mm.
a job after
Mm.
that career.
Mm.
And then I was like, I'm so passionate about healthcare. That's the
Mm.
reason I did physio. I didn't get into MBBS, but I did
Mm.
physio because I wanted to be associated with healthcare.
Mm.
And then MBA kari ki chalo, at least it'll be a financially secure thing. But that health bug was always there.
Mm.
Like, I can't explain why and how, but I just get biology, physiology, ये सब subjects मुझे बहुत अच्छे से समझ आते हैं. And I was very good, even in my physio, got very good marks. And
Mm.
I wanted to do something with healthcare. And I remember when I went to Narsimunji, I knew that I want to start a fitness business someday. उस टाइम मुझे
Hmm.
कुछ आइडिया नहीं था क्या होने वाला है. There was
Hmm.
social media was very new. You didn't start
Hmm.
businesses on social media.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then in those days also I was very active. मैं जुहू बीच के पास रहती थी, मैं
Hmm.
रोज रनिंग पे जाती थी, and my friends started telling me, hey, will you coach me, will you tell me
Hmm.
how to lose weight? That's when it started happening. And even when I went into my first or second job, my colleagues started looking at how I would bring my lunches, how
Hmm.
I would go to the gym before coming to office, and then they started telling me, hey, you should do this
Hmm.
for a
Wow.
living. And that's how this whole thing kept on simmering inside me कि यार यही करना है.
Hmm. So
So
basically, in your mind, your business started in 2006, 7, but you were not
yeah,
able to find a way, or maybe उस time
yes,
तो उस time पे तो fitness industry did not even exist, to be honest. Gym वाला logic था बस, that's all.
yeah.
Uh, that is great. I was 10, 11 at that time. Uh, okay. So, I actually forgot the part that, you are also a physiotherapist, which you generally don't talk about. We'll talk
Yeah.
about that after this podcast, actually. I want to ask something about that. Although, it's off context. Okay, so when was the turning point कि यार आपने कब decide किया कि यार बहुत हो गया? Also, if you don't mind answering, what were you making in your job? Because I just want people to know that, being at that level also, you can take the leap if you want to. And it's not just about starting a fitness business, it's about, living your passion. Because, one thing which I'm understanding from here is कि even if you wouldn't have started your fitness business, आपके मन में आज भी होता है, even if you would have, your job would have gone up or whatever the level was,
Yeah.
uh, वो आपके मन में रहता है because it started in your head in 2006.
Right.
So, yes.
Yeah. So when did the turning point come was जब मैंने अपना when I gave birth.
Yes.
This was 2018. And even then, Yash, इतने ज़्यादा
Mm,
postpartum fitness कुछ नहीं था. There were no role
mm,
models. Maybe
yes.
outside India, I could look on Instagram that there were some role models
Mm,
but there were no role models on women who had given birth and got
yes.
really fit. I went to a coach. उसने मुझे एक plan दिया, nutrition coach.
Mm, mm,
I'll
mm,
tell you the name after the podcast.
mm,
No hate.
yes.
So,
Yes.
uh, उसने मुझे एक प्लान दिया जो इतना ओवरवेलमिंग था दैट वन डे
Mm,
गोइंग टू ऑफिस ऑफिस जाने से पहले मुझे आधा घंटा पौना घंटा अपना लंच पैक करने में लगता.
mm,
And
yes.
then I broke down in the kitchen saying, yeah, I can't do this. This is
Mm,
not possible. And I left the program.
mm,
Then I took things into my own hands. But knowledge
mm,
नहीं थी उतनी. Even
mm,
though I used to listen
yes.
to podcasts and all, उससे आपको पता ही है ना कितनी scattered knowledge
Yes.
होती.
Mm, definitely.
So उसके बाद कीटो ट्राई करी, इंटरमिटेंट करी, I
Mm,
reached my body goals. And then I
take care.
realized कि यार there has to be a better way of doing this. At the end,
Mm,
when I lost the weight, I realized it was stupid calorie deficit that I needed.
yeah.
And I was just
Yes.
dabbling in this and
Yes.
that. And उस टाइम समझ में आया कि यार जिस चीज में मुझे 20 महीने लगे वो एक्चुअली
Mm,
6 महीने में हो सकती है
mm,
if done right. And then I was
yes.
like, yeah, I feel so fit. I feel so good.
Mm,
Everybody around is telling me you don't look like you've given
mm,
birth just few months back. And I was like, I have to help women achieve this.
mm,
And COVID हो गया.
yes. Mm,
कोविड हो गया तो लगा कि अब मेरा कम्यूट टाइम खत्म हो गया है.
mm.
द जॉब दैट आई वाज डूइंग यूज्ड टू पे मी 2 lakhs per month.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Literally, 2 lakhs. I mean, from what I understand, that's, dream goal for 95% of people,
Yeah.
especially those who have not reached that level. Wow,
Yes.
that's very good. What was the type of, sorry to cut you, but what was the type of work? I mean, was it very stressful? Were you working 9, 10 hours, or it was a little chill?
देखो weekends were definitely mine, which is not the case in
Hmm.
business, right? When
Yes.
you're
Hmm.
24/7 on. So
Hmm.
weekends were chill, but weekdays were very stressful. It was a very demanding place. I used to work with InfoEdge.
Hmm.
They own Naukri, Shiksha,
Hmm.
and very cutthroat place, super
Hmm.
high performing place. Imagine
Hmm.
they get the best, you know, uh, best people from the industry, whether it's HR, whether
Hmm.
it's tech, whether it's marketing, and they're all in the same room, vying for
Yes.
the same promotions and the same and a small increment budget. So you can
Yes.
imagine it was very cutthroat. The role was extremely demanding. When I left, they hired 3 people to do my job.
Wow.
So it was that demanding.
Hmm.
So, but it taught me a lot.
Mm. So basically, they were paying you well. you had reached that level obviously via your skill and everything else. But 5 days were like, very, very hard. Plus, you always had the fear that, okay, someone might just take my place. Is that correct?
Yeah, that even after you do everything, what if you're not promoted? कंपनीज के बाद बहुत सारे रीजन होते हैं, जब से कोविड
So,
हुआ.
I just want to know the trajectory. When did you start working? How did you go up level wise? Because, one very important pointer I would want everyone to understand that, in your case, a lot of skill transfer happened. The kind of skills you had gained uh,
Yeah,
before your business, I'm 100% sure they hit, plus skills and confidence. Because
right,
if you know that, okay, you have escalated so much in your career otherwise, you got something in you. That's why that happened.
right,
Right. So
right.
I just want to know the trajectory that, which year did we start job? And I mean,
Yeah.
2022 we stopped. And how did the ascension happen?
2014, I started my first job. I worked with three organizations in my 8-year career. The first job
Mm.
was a startup, college
Yes.
placement. Then I worked with Hindustan Times as an HR manager. And then
Mm.
here I was a senior HR business partner. Business partner basically different. I was a HR partner for particular businesses. So
Yes.
it was a very lucrative career, very good,
Mm.
very well respected job. बहुत सारे सीनियर स्टेक होल्डर्स के साथ इंटरेक्शन होता है,
Mm.
बिजनेस लीडर्स के साथ मीटिंग्स होती हैं. सो इट वाज अ वेरी वेरी गुड हाई फ्लाइंग करियर. इफ आई वुड हैव स्टेड द कोर्स, वुड हैव डन वेरी वेल. बट मैं अपने बॉस की
Right.
लाइफ जब देखती थी, मुझे बिल्कुल एस्पिरेशनल नहीं लगती थी. मुझे लगता था कि मेरी
Right.
प्रमोशन भी हो जाएगी तो मेरी लाइफ
Mm.
ऐसी, बट मुझे ऐसी लाइफ नहीं चाहिए.
Right.
सो देन आई.
By what was that? It was also stressful or it was still the next level kya thi? Because I just want to create a contrast in my head that your life right now as a full-time business owner and a
या.
coach. I just want to understand that.
एक्चुअली द बिगेस्ट थिंग वाज दैट दे वर नॉट द ओनर्स ऑफ देयर ओन टाइम.
Hmm.
मुझे ऐसा लगता था कि यार आपकी इतनी इक्विटी है, आप इस
Yes.
कंपनी में इतने सालों से हो,
Hmm.
फिर भी यू आर ऑलवेज ऑन द एज.
Hmm.
यू आर ऑलवेज बाउंड ऑन सम, यू आर बाउंड बाय समवन एल्सेस टाइम. दैट इज समथिंग व्हिच रियली बॉदर्ड मी. कि
Yes.
क्या फायदा हुआ ना, मतलब यू ऑलमोस्ट 50, यू ऑलमोst 50 years old. You've given
Hmm.
20 years to an organization,
Hmm.
but even then you're always on the edge.
Hmm. So basically, there's no guarantee of anything, right? Even if you have reached a
Yeah.
level, your level can go up. Oh, okay. Then obviously, what you are doing. Now let's talk about your business. Okay, so was there a aha moment? How did you discuss with your partner? I know that your partner is like super, super. He's always supporting you at
Yeah.
all levels. How did it? I just want to what a scenario that okay, when was it you pre-decided कि यार मैंने इस टाइम पे जॉब छोड़ देनी है, this is the deadline and तब business start करना है. How did that happen?
बिल्कुल भी डिसाइडेड नहीं था. आई
Hmm.
लेफ्ट माई जॉब एट द वर्स्ट पॉसिबल टाइम.
Hmm.
सब ये था, बट जबकि कोर्स के लिए साइन अप करा, तो देन देयर वाज लाइक दैट, आई वांट टू डू दिस कोर्स, एंड ही
Hmm.
हैड सीन हाउ मच आई केयर अबाउट दिस, हाउ मच आई केयर अबाउट फिटनेस एंड हाउ मच आई वांट टू डू
Hmm.
दिस. So that was a no-brainer.
Hmm.
There was no aha moment. Actually, I'll tell you what was the game changer. शायद अगर मेरे
Hmm.
पास FBA मुझे नहीं पता चला होता ना that
Hmm.
FBA is
Hmm.
launched. I quit my job in April 2022. I enrolled in FBA in July 2021. I paid the token.
Yes.
But मैंने कोर्स अभी कंप्लीट नहीं किया था. And the
Hmm.
conversation was that I'll complete my course and start FBA sometime next year.
Right.
So जब स्टार्ट किया, so I think that was a game changer, Yash. देखो,
Hmm.
अगर मेरे पास genuinely, if I didn't have a mentor, I wouldn't have been able to do this. I
Hmm.
took 1 year to decide which course to do.
Hmm.
Imagine that,
Right.
just a small decision.
Hmm.
क्योंकि पहले तो सीरियसली नहीं लेते, आप 10 कोर्स देखते हो, आपको
Hmm.
समझ नहीं आता कौन सा
या
कर.
पर उसमें ना एक और भी एस्पेक्ट है उस टाइम पे ना द नॉलेज यू हैव उस टाइम पे ना सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज भी आपको वही लगती है कि भाई कोर्स वुड बी द मेन थिंग विच वुड मैटर.
Yeah,
Right? So वो at times, yeah, taking the first decision, maybe lack of deadline also is there. But I think it's justified also to a certain extent ना कि आपने बहुत time लिया maybe for a small decision because that's the first step. If you go wrong with the
yeah.
first step, maybe आगे वाले steps थोड़े mess up हो जाए.
Right. But,
Hmm.
I didn't even have anyone to ask कि, hey,
Hmm.
do you know which course is good? So, मैं किसके पास कोई है नहीं जाने के लिए. So,
Hmm.
what is the first step to starting a business? I had no
Hmm.
कि अच्छा
Yes.
प्लान बनाना सीखना है. अच्छा प्लान
Hmm.
कैसे बनाना है? और
Hmm.
it's when I went through the trainings that you had put,
Hmm.
that's the first time I saw that this is how
Hmm.
a good plan is supposed to look.
Hmm.
So अब बाद में ये चीजें लगती हैं कि हाँ सीख सीख you could obviously stumble and learn, but
Hmm.
that's the whole point of mentorship, right? That you don't
Yes.
stumble, and from
Hmm.
day one you start doing well.
Hmm.
So if and I'm not saying this because we are on this
Hmm.
podcast.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
know that I am मैं डिसीजन में बहुत डिले कर देती हूँ कई बार. तो
Hmm.
the aha moment was that when I saw that there is actually somebody who can help you set up business.
Hmm.
For somebody who comes from a service background, this was a huge
Hmm.
game changer.
So a side question, मेरा personal question है actually. What in FBA made you think? Because I also remember when you signed up for the top package at that time,
Yeah.
right? That's a big leap. So what made you trust us that much? I mean, was it content or you were like, okay, this is the only person I can find who can help me? I signed up for this.
Um, I had been following you since 2017 or 18, I think.
Hmm. Right.
And so that trust was there.
Okay, so you were pretty nurtured that way.
Yeah, I
So
was
yeah,
very
you
nurtured.
knew us. So yeah, so you have
2000.
seen that is like that way it's justified. Okay,
Yeah.
so what was the biggest? Okay, I know that in our beginning also our journey was smooth. In the first 12 weeks itself, we were getting our first few clients. We had started, and the trajectory was sorted. But what do you think was the biggest struggle? I Guys, for the record, Mrinali started her fitness business with us. That means she joined FBA first, then she started her fitness business.
Yeah.
But still, I want to ask for, perspective of other coaches that, what is one struggle every coach has to face, or maybe one struggle which you faced despite having all the guidance in the world?
To start doing the work. I remember क्या होता है ना.
Hmm,
I think
hmm.
this happens with in fitness also. People think अब
Yes.
तो sign up कर लिया, now things will
Hmm.
happen. No,
Yes.
you have to put down your head
Hmm.
and put in the work.
Yes.
First 4 weeks you kept telling me content बनाओ, content बनाओ, content
Hmm.
बनाओ, and I would just be like, yeah, okay, tomorrow. अरे
Hmm.
भाई जब तक नहीं बनाओगे और पोस्ट नहीं
Yes.
करोगे, तब तक कैसे पता चलेगा
Yes.
लोगों को that you're doing this.
Yes.
So
Definitely, definitely. As coaches, any coach, for that regard, any other fitness coach also, you can show the door to the client. The client has to walk past it,
yeah,
right? You can show
exactly.
the right door. That's
Yes,
all we can do as coaches. Yes,
yes.
that way, as a coach, it has been a pleasure coaching you for me because you understand. You're always open to understanding. A lot of times, while telling you that a lot of times I know as a matter of fact, कि ये mental block है. This is a mental block which you have. You're not open to it right now, but as a coach, I feel comfortable telling you that okay, today if we don't apply this, in a few weeks we'll have to do that. So that
Yeah.
way, you have been a good student, I would say, with that regard, ideal student for us, and that's what. Okay, so first is action taking. Next is that what is the biggest win you had in your fitness business so far, from your perspective, and what is the biggest win you have had working with us? Because we helped you in multiple aspects, from your service to setting literally all 7 systems of your fitness business. What is
Right.
the biggest win? First, I want to know your personal win. Is it number related? Is it confidence related? Impact related? I know, as a matter of fact, it is that you have changed so many lives. What is the biggest win you have had, according to you?
It's definitely impact related. Um, the fact that one of my clients had been struggling with conceiving, had had multiple failed IVFs, and is now
Hmm.
pregnant, almost about to deliver. The fact that we have helped women going through separation feel like themselves again,
Yes.
helping people through breakups, through their lives falling apart, or for the next milestone, like having a baby. I think
Hmm.
that has been the biggest win. Like just the fact that somebody's life got
Hmm.
1% better because of what we do is
Hmm.
so gratifying. That is the biggest.
That That is great. And this is one thing. These are the things which are generally not seen on a transformation picture, right? As coaches, we
Right.
mostly post before afters, but this is the kind of impact, a good coach can bring in when it comes to their client's life, right? Because in India and even otherwise also, for most women, I think one of the biggest landmarks, I think you would agree also, is actually giving birth to a child.
Right.
Marriage is one part, but I think, you evolve as a person when you give birth to a child.
Yeah.
And, I think if as a coach you have helped someone, literally, you have in a way changed their life.
Yeah. किसी की डायबिटीज, किसी की इंसुलिन
Hmm,
की डोजेज कम हो गई
hmm,
आफ्टर
hmm,
10-15 years. These are things that you feel like make everything worth it. And FBA win, of course, like numbers is one, but second is there's the fact that I know that I have a community of people who are there to help me, because it's a very isolating experience doing business by yourself. आपके
hmm,
कोई who's there ना, कोई भी नहीं है आपके आसपास, especially in an online business.
hmm.
But then if just the fact that whenever we I've gotten stuck, there's been somebody to look out for me and has helped prevent one is mental breakdowns because of this isolation that it can bring, and second, of course, financial aspect, that you March our meta ad thing got screwed up, but you put me
Yes,
in touch with the right people, we solved it, and it was a good month.
yes.
So these, and of course hitting big numbers, like that's
Obviously, I don't. A lot of times, I used to do the same thing. And a lot of times people actually shy away from sharing the fact that okay, we are in it for business. But the thing is, everyone knows that, and it's no.
course.
I don't think there's any shame in thinking about numbers. Now, talking about numbers, you literally anyone who would be starting their fitness business would be like, okay, if I get to 7.2 lakh rupees in a single month,
Yeah.
100% online, while having some time freedom with myself and everything else, it would be there. So my question is that, when you started out, what was the number one goal uh, in your mind that, okay, even if I get to this number, I'll be happy?
I was like 25-30,000. That is, and then that was initially when I started doing the course.
Mm,
Then
mm,
we got this house, and
mm.
there was a certain EMI that I
Yes.
used to contribute to.
Mm,
And then it was like, okay, but sab is EMI and a little bit of fixed expenses like the school fees and all.
mm,
So maybe then a lakh started looking like a
mm,
sweet spot. That okay,
mm,
I at least I'll be happy, comfortable,
mm,
and it won't be lavish.
mm,
Life won't be lavish, but at least
mm,
डे टू डे struggles नहीं होंगे जो जॉब में इतने थे.
mm, mm.
That is all I used to think.
So another thing which I want to understand that your husband had seen your journey, that he knew ki you live for fitness,
Yeah.
you want to change lives. Did you take a counsel slash advice from others around you uh, before leaving the job? And what was their response? Was there resistance or everyone was like, go and do it?
Actually, I quit my job one day गुस्से में.
Oh, okay. What happened on that day?
I had worked really hard on one project,
Hmm,
and that project was not something कि जिसके results एक साल में आ सकते थे.
hmm, hmm,
There was no way that those results could
hmm,
have come. And when I was told 1 month before
hmm,
appraisal that, you know, ठीक है, you worked hard, but proof is in the pudding. And
hmm,
there's no proof yet
hmm,
of all the work you've done. I was
hmm.
like, I let me beep, beep, beep.
Yeah,
This is my
that's what I was thinking.
resignation.
Hmm,
And किसी किसी से नहीं पूछा. या
hmm.
अगर मैं किसी से पूछती, कोई भी I don't think anybody would have also taken the responsibility of telling me हाँ छोड़ दो. Even
Yes.
you were like कि नहीं
Hmm.
छोड़नी है. I remember
Yes,
trying
yes,
to
that's
told you
why
were panicking.
whenever I think about your journey, I always think that you do this confidence because I personally cannot work under stress. And when you are leaving 2 lakhs, so how psychology works is that if you are leaving a job of 2 lakh rupees per month, it feels like 5 lakh rupees in
Right,
your
that's
head.
so
Uh,
true.
yeah, so it's lots of versions. So 2.5x feel hota. So that's why, I just wanted to know that, how did you take that decision? Okay, so it was a snap decision, but it's a good thing that, that happened because if appraisal, you would have got the appraisal, maybe you were not, sitting here right now,
You would
inspiring and
not
changing so
remember
many
this.
lives.
I
Hmm,
told you कि मैंने बहुत बड़ी गलती कर दी because if I
hmm,
would have waited 1 month, I would have
hmm,
gotten my appraisal letter and that would have had my revised salary on it.
hmm.
And if I
Yes.
ever needed it, then
Hmm.
I would have gone to the market showing that okay, this is what I was drawing
Uh,
last. And you told
yes.
me you're never going to need it. Please don't
Yes.
think like this.
Chalo,
You
that
know?
is great. Hmm.
Yeah. Also, I just want to add one thing.
Yes, please.
But it was, of course, it was a very whim decision
Hmm,
and snap decision. And also, it was not a very good time because we had,
hmm,
when you build a house,
hmm,
आपकी सारी down payment में, you empty
hmm,
bank balance in the down payment and then doing up the house to make it livable.
hmm, hmm,
Financially, also, Yash, we did not have a cushion. We were
hmm,
just living, paycheck to paycheck because
hmm,
of the expense we had incurred.
hmm, hmm.
So, just for anyone out there who thinks that they are in a really crazy financial, shit financial position, let's say, I've been there. I was not sitting on lakhs of emergency fund, like tens or twenties of lakhs in my bank account when I quit this job.
Wow. This is great. And, most people, including me, I wouldn't have ever done that. But, a lot of times bad things happen and they lead to good things. You did not get the appraisal. Now you are making what, 3, 4x of that
Yeah.
while working on your own terms. Now, I have a question in relation to this that, working on your own terms. Okay, so what was your expectation in relation to, because, you told me that, okay, I wanted to be the owner of my time. Do you still think you are 100% the owner of your time? Because multiple times we have had discussion with regards to this. And
Yeah.
how has your opinion changed being a business owner when it comes to your time?
This has gone through two phases. Okay.
Yes.
One is when you're a solopreneur, you don't have a team, then you are
Yes.
somewhat still an owner of your time.
Hmm.
If you want to go work from a cafe, you want to work from you want to go out and work somewhere, you want to meet somebody in the middle of the day, you can say yes.
Hmm.
But वो भी उतना नहीं होता था because
Hmm.
then you
Hmm.
start focusing on okay, I have to be super productive, I have to be
Hmm.
at be at my home to make
Hmm.
content. If I have to do
Hmm.
calls with prospects, I need to be in a certain place in a certain setting.
Hmm.
So वो owner of time थे, but I used to dream of nomad life, like travel and
Hmm. Hmm.
ऑफिस से वर्क, वो सब कुछ नहीं हुआ. Those are all
Hmm.
romanticizing uh, you know
Yes.
thoughts.
And I think it is, this idea is also popularized by people who are just selling that lifestyle. That, okay, if you want that
Yeah,
lifestyle, buy my course. So I also, totally agree that, you can maintain your business while traveling and stuff like that, but you can't actually grow
you
while
can't.
traveling or, while being a nomad unless you're going to some place and staying there for 3 to 6 months. Then
Absolutely.
it becomes a home only in a way.
And team के साथ तो then you have to do
Hmm.
team meetings. We have one
Yes.
meeting in the morning, one in the
Hmm.
evening, then sync ups through the day, then there's
Hmm.
content and there's operations. वो सब ऑफिस में बैठ के ही हो रहा है.
Hmm.
So,
Yes.
so yeah.
Also, how stressful would you rate your business right now? Generally, because a lot of people when they're starting out, they just see the grass is greener on the other side
Right.
concept. That they just think that okay, it's all online. It's cool. Others are doing it. I can do it too. We can maybe get guidance from FBA. But what is the thorny side of this?
It's very stressful. There is no off button. I'm always thinking about work. I go to bed thinking about work. सुबह उठती है तो कोई क्लाइंट ध्यान में आ जाता है कि इसका ये चल रहा है,
Hmm.
उसका वो चल
Hmm.
रहा है. There is team, then उनका aspirations manage करना, performance, mentoring, coaching. There's content, then there is, progress check-ins. It's extremely stressful, which is again, well, this is what I also tell my clients that, I'm not standing on a gym floor. I am
Hmm.
exactly working how many hours you are working. So I get it.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's very
Definitely.
stressful. It's as stressful as any consulting law job out there.
Right. So, you had this rule. I had to ask you. You had this rule that I'll not work on Sundays at all. Does that rule still stand? Because I remember our first conversation. You were like, I'll work on all 6 days, but not on Sundays.
Yeah.
So, do you work on Sundays, or Sundays are still off?
Sundays are off. The only exception I make is that if a client has to start a plan on Monday and they have some
Hmm.
questions, then I take those calls. but I don't open my laptop because
mm,
I have a son who's now almost 7, and he knows Sundays are off. And if I
mm.
open my laptop, he will be the one to complain and tell me, why am I doing this? So Sundays are absolutely my family time. And my
That
clients
is
respect
great. Also, one thing which I've seen in, I think I've been coaching you since like what, 3 years. I've never seen you complain or even bring up that, okay, I have my child's responsibility, my son's responsibility. How do you manage that, especially for women who are, aspiring
that.
to be, who are already mothers or would be mothers in future and are aspiring to have a career like you? How are
Yeah.
you managing that time?
Actually, my husband takes a lot of load there. He's responsible for my son's schoolwork.
Yes.
So I always thought I'm going to be the strict parent, but
Yes.
somehow because of this business,
Mm,
he has
mm,
become the strict parent,
mm,
and I'm a little less strict. So because मेरे को time कम मिलता है उसके साथ.
mm. Yes.
Then, but I also have a lot of support because my in-laws stay in the same apartment that we do, same building
Mm,
as in.
mm,
So my parents live close by. So we have a lot of support, and he's well taken care of in that sense. Somebody's there to look out
mm.
for him.
In a journey, one big thing which I've seen is that, your circle, especially your husband, has been like, always there throughout. There was this one FB resource which he created for us.
Yes.
Thanks to him once again. And, that way, it's actually a rare thing. Let me tell you something that, being a man myself, it's a very, very rare thing that, partner is so supportive for their partner, because men have some sort of ego and stuff like that. I've seen with so many cases that career wise they just are not ready to support their partner. That way,
Yes.
what I've seen is it's been exceptional, literally exceptional. And great. Do you have a comment on that?
So the thing is that he's wired very differently. He does not attach his self-worth or ego to his
Mm,
career or his job.
mm,
And he is very happy that, okay, you go, you
mm,
hustle, you do what you want.
mm,
Even though his job, he's very hardworking and he's doing very well in his career, but
mm,
he doesn't get anxious about it.
mm, mm,
So that way, he's very secure that, okay, you
mm,
want to go hustle, you want to go work 24 hours, you do it. And I'm here to support you. He's more than happy to spend time with our son. And he doesn't feel like, oh, that's a woman's job. And why am I doing
mm.
this?
Yes.
So,
That requires a lot of maturity. I mean, hats off to your husband, because a lot of times people think that it's inbuilt in them, but this is a maturity related thing more than anything else, which is legendary. Now let's discuss your trajectory of growth. How did the growth happen? Because I just don't want to show people, okay, we reached 7.2 lakh rupees. No, we spent years on this. Then we reached
right.
that. Rome isn't built in one day. So we started in August or July.
We started this in July, August. Yeah.
July 2022.
I thought you mean like the last,
I
yeah.
just want to know the number trajectory. I just want people to have a clear
Okay.
view of that, to build a great business like this, which they are aspiring for, it takes time. Uh,
Right. We
Yes.
started our mentorship the first time in Feb 2022.
Okay, Feb.
And in the first tenure that I did with you guys, the first 12 weeks, I made, I of course made what spent in the mentorship. I
Hmm.
surpassed it. So
Great.
um, I remember the first month I made some 24,000. Second month I made 1.3 lakhs.
Yes.
And then the month after that I made close to a lakh.
Yes.
So that was pretty amazing. And us saal mein in 2022, I had some low months, like some 60,
Yes.
70K months also.
Hmm. Hmm.
Those were like Diwali months, and
Hmm.
it was my first time ever. And everything
Yes.
was organic. I had a following less
Yes.
than 1,000.
Hmm.
And but I'd also hit a very high mark in that one of those months. I think September 2022 is when I first hit 2.5 lakhs.
Yes. So in 4 months, you already beat your salary
Yeah,
number.
yes.
That's very cool. Yes.
So then it was a consistent 2.5 lakhs, sometimes three and a half. Eventually, धीरे धीरे बढ़ा. Last year, I started hitting close to five multiple months in
Yes.
2024. So imagine two
Yes.
years.
Yes.
2023 was a year of maintaining.
Hmm.
Then 2024 was again a year of growth.
Hmm.
Then this year has so far been pretty amazing.
Awesome.
So 5 lakhs, 7 lakhs.
So that's one thing which I would want you to understand, everyone who's listening to this, that, don't look, a lot of times we have very short-term mindset, okay, that, business only grew by maybe 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs in 1 year. But one thing which you need to understand, it's every month happening every month. So the amount compounds like crazy,
Yeah,
right? So even if it's a growth of 2 lakh rupees, by end of this year, that's an additional 25 lakh rupees, right?
true.
And plus, there are stages where you would have to spend time maintaining. Maybe you have to prioritize your personal life. Maybe you are doing actions and you'll get results for that later. For example, training your team, setting up your ads, setting up your systems, and
Right.
everything else. So we started working again in 2024, April or May, I guess.
June,
And
let's
now,
say June, July. I remember we started, yeah, technically in May, but the first time launched the ad and then set up the whole process was July. But yes, May, June.
yes. So basically, first phase we completed our first phase in 2022. Then we maintained for 2023. Then we restarted with the FBE in 2024.
Right.
And now we are obviously continuously working together. And that is great. Now, what does your team look like? Because the team wala part also started
Yeah.
literally very recently, and you have been doing that, managing that really well. So, what does your team structure look like at this level, this numbers? Is it a lean team? Do we have many people right now?
So we have one video editor, we have one virtual assistant, and I have two assistant coaches.
Yes,
That's the team. And everybody's remote. I've never
yes,
met them in person. So, um, yeah, the team is very good. These are all my assistant coaches and virtual assistant are all women, and these are very hardworking people, and spending a lot of time mentoring them because I also want them to grow
yes.
and want them to make a career out of this. I want them to stay with me as long as, of course, it's not like a marriage. Of course, if they find
Mm,
a better
mm.
prospect, everybody has the right to move on. But from my side, I want to make sure that I coach them to become great coaches or great at what they do.
That is great. What is the difference between your job scenario, your work style in your old office versus your work style? What is one thing which is common, and what is one thing which you have made sure of that that should not be happening in your organization?
Yeah. So one thing that I make sure is a lot of processes. I'm very
Mm,
process driven. Like
mm,
there are
mm,
so many trackers. I don't function without calendar. Everything
mm,
has to be on my calendar.
mm.
So very, very process oriented to minimize slip ups as much as
Mm,
possible.
mm,
So that's structure and organization is one. And what I have made sure not to do is that I'm not one of those people ki, oh, you should always be online. Oh, if I, if it's a 10 to 7, then you have to always be like, वो green button दिखना चाहिए
mm,
Slack पे.
mm. Yeah.
No, I want the job to be done.
Mm,
If I know that this has to be done today, but that has to be done today, now you do early morning or
mm,
you do evening. If अगर client को plan जाना है तो जाना है.
mm.
It's up to you कि कैसे जाना है.
Even if you take
तो
like 5 minutes, as long as you're maintaining the
yeah,
quality, even if
yes,
someone is working for 5 minutes or maybe 30 minutes per
yes,
day, you don't care as long as the quality is ensured and
yes,
they're doing their job and on time.
yes. आपको घूमने जाना है ठीक है बट क्लाइंट्स को क्वेरीज का रिस्पॉन्स जरूर देना है.
ये मेरे को अभी तक बात ये नहीं समझ आई. दिस इज आई टोटली एग्री टू दिस. दैट हैज बीन माय वर्किंग स्टाइल. दैट बट व्हाई डोंट isn't this common sense? That, for example, if someone is setting up Slack green wala timer and stuff like that, especially in work from home setups, people don't know that, most people would be cheating on that. There
Yeah,
are ways
I
around.
know. There are ways to do it. There are hacks to do it. पता नहीं क्यों है. I think I even I don't know why there is so much fixation with कि I have to see you online
Hmm.
and I don't know.
Because, that always surprises me because it goes against common sense. Because if anybody's productivity or actual focus would go down if say, okay, it feels like school.
Yeah,
It's just a
exactly.
grown-up school.
Which is
Hmm.
why I didn't want to do the corporate job.
Interesting. I'll actually chat GPT this after this interview to check that, is there any scientific reason behind this or something? Uh, okay, so how has the market scenario changed in relation to getting clients? Because a lot of coaches, watching this might think that, okay, market is saturated right now. So I want to know from two perspectives. One, as a coach, because, when you joined, when you started 2022, as a coach myself, I know that, it was just like, follow the system, just
Hmm.
do the work and you will get results. Now it has, you need to do the work, but direction has to be 100% correct. You need to have a story, differentiator, everything else. So how do you think the market scenario has changed from two perspectives, as a coach for getting clients
Yes.
and for other coaches who are maybe thinking that it's saturated right now?
Okay. So from getting clients, yeah, your story is very important because when somebody comes on a call and says, "I saw your video or I saw this, your reel, and it clicked with me.
Hmm,
I am facing the same thing." That's the kind of person you want to work
hmm,
with, right? Because that's a
hmm.
person who will also value your input.
Yes.
So that is very important. Having your own story is extremely important if you have to build your own fitness business. Now, why are you doing this? Because clients are very smart.
Hmm.
They will not fall for fluff. They
Yes.
want to, जैसे ये कहते हैं ना vibe match होती है.
Hmm. Definitely.
Has to happen, right? You have to feel that connect with the coach you're going to work with.
Hmm,
So clients also, people nowadays don't want कि अच्छा मुझे कोई plan दे दे लिख के.
hmm,
और वो कुछ ऐसा प्लान कॉमन कॉपी पेस्ट टाइप हो
hmm,
जो मैं
hmm,
नहीं कर सकता. सो पीपल हैव हैड दोज एक्सपीरियंसेस. आई थिंक पोस्ट कोविड लॉट ऑफ पीपल वेंट फॉर कोचिंग एंड देन दे हैड
hmm,
बैड एक्सपीरियंसेस.
hmm,
So
hmm,
then you have to give that assurance when you speak to them that why
hmm,
what you're going to do is different. And I don't think market is saturated, Yash, not at all. We
hmm.
need great coaches. That's I tell my team that we don't have to be good coaches. We have to be great coaches. So
Yes.
I don't think we have great coaches, enough great coaches in the country. We have great, but we don't have
Hmm.
enough number.
Definitely, and I totally agree to this. I personally think that today's market scenario is those who are finding it hard. They are finding it hard because Indian customer is generally very smart. They have
Yes.
become smarter because of their past experiences. And Indians, I won't even think this about Indians. 99% of humans are very smart. They can sense bullshit from 1,000 miles away.
Absolutely.
Yes, so you need to have a real mission and you need to have excellence, else it won't work out for you. And so if anyone is
Absolutely.
listening to this, if you want to pick up one thing from Mrinali, only one thing, you can pick up a lot of things. That would be excellence and mission. Literally, I'll discuss that in a bit. That why I think Mrinali is the leading coach in her industry right now in such and literally 2 years without having many followers. How many followers do we have? 10,000?
Close to 14,000.
Yeah, 14,000 now. We
Yeah.
have a funnel set up for that. But Mrinali was hitting lakhs while having 1,000, 2,000 followers also.
Yeah. Yes.
So okay, so you need excellence and mission. So,
Yes.
Mrinali, these days, what does your day look like? How are you managing everything as a coach? And how are you servicing your clients?
My day, it has to start like, you want to know my entire routine, like just business related.
I mean,
Every,
whatever.
okay.
Actually,
Actually,
both, because my next question is in relation to that. What rules have you set for to manage your personal life? If you can
yeah.
share both, because one thing which I've seen is yes, you are growing your business, but you have managed your personal life in a very excellent manner.
Yeah.
So,
So
yes. How are you
one,
managing that? And what mistake, maybe if you made one, what mistake did you make after starting your business? And how have you fixed it in relation to your personal life?
okay. I think mistake is shorter, तो पहले उसकी बात कर लेते
Yes,
हैं.
definitely.
So, boundaries बहुत important है.
Hmm.
I realize that, sometimes, and it's we who have to define them. So, like my Sunday off boundary.
Hmm.
If I
Hmm.
start taking calls on Sundays and if I start
Hmm.
doing meetings, then everybody will be open to doing it, right?
Yes.
Like my clients will
Hmm.
ask for time, my team members will also have to
Hmm.
work.
Hmm.
बट दीज बाउंड्रीज आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. मैंने अपनी टीम को भी फर्स्ट डे से बोला हुआ है कि संडे इज एन
Hmm.
ऑफ, मतलब संडे इज एन ऑफ.
Hmm.
आई डोंट माइंड
Hmm.
टेलिंग क्लाइंट्स ऑल्सो कि हमने
Hmm.
आपको नहीं रिस्पॉन्ड करेंगे. सो
Hmm.
दोज बाउंड्रीज ऑफ टाइम are very important. So then I also make sure that if I'm working between certain hours, I'm 100% productive. There is not a
Hmm.
minute waste. ऐसा नहीं कि घर
Yes.
पे बैठे हैं तो नेटफ्लिक्स देख रहे हैं
Hmm.
या
Yes.
लंच करते करते टीवी चला
Hmm.
लिया, ये सब नहीं होता है.
Hmm.
So it's a quick lunch. I mean, I'm not shaming anybody who
Hmm.
does it. Like
Hmm.
if
Hmm.
someone is super fast and can do it,
Hmm.
great.
Hmm.
I personally cannot. I find it
Great.
distracting. So uh, that discipline boundary is something that I'm very strict about.
Hmm.
So that's that. And my day looks like my morning workout is non-negotiable because if I don't do it,
Hmm.
I don't feel great. Mental health के लिए बहुत
Plus,
important.
you have to lead a pack. In the end, if you don't work out and
Yes.
if you tell your clients to work out, they would sense it that it's
Yes.
bullshit. Like,
Yes.
and it's just an energy thing. It's like someone would think that how would the other person know that okay, I'm not working out. But the conviction with which you say something now, people get to know according to me.
Absolutely. And also, this is what I tell my team also. देखो अगर मैं सुबह अपने आप को on days when I don't want to work out and I drag
Hmm.
myself to the
Hmm.
gym,
Hmm.
that's how
Hmm.
I can coach a client also, na? That how do you drag
Definitely.
yourself on days you don't want to show
Hmm.
up? But
Hmm.
if you've never done it,
Hmm.
then how will you teach somebody कि कैसे जाना होता है उन दिनों में जब नहीं होता मन जाने का? Which ties back to what you just said about excellence and mission. That if you have to be passionate as yourself, you have to care about this mission of being healthy and fit. That's why then
Yes.
you will be able to pass on that mission to other people. So my day starts with workout and then I sit down to work around. I start my work around 10 a.m. Between 9:30 to 10.
Hmm.
Client queries को response करना, respond देना, and then I have regular recurring team meetings every morning. So we do that. We set the agenda for the day. किस किस का plan जाना है, किस client को call पे लेना है. So all of that. First half of my day is usually between for team and back end work. Second half of the day is either content or it's prospects who reach out. उनके साथ calls पे जाना. So yeah.
That is awesome. So you are killing it already, Mrinali. What is our next goal? And where do you see your company in the next maybe 3 to 5 years? If we already have thought about it.
Next goal is definitely to impact more and more people, which is why we've recently introduced an assistant coach tier. Because
Yes.
I used to feel when somebody used to reach out and I used to feel like they need help, but they genuinely cannot spend a certain amount. Uh, I used to feel, I wish I could help this person. So
Mm,
is to impact as many lives as possible. So really go and service or
mm,
grow the assistant coach package. So that's one. So actually impacting more lives. That's simple. Like it's as simple as that. So nothing fancy. Systems and processes in place to minimize any slip ups, to minimize any जितना भी ज़्यादा I feel जितना system and this
mm.
I've if you've read the 4-hour work week, so whatever
Yes, I have.
part can be automated or
Mm,
delegated,
yes.
that I want to make sure is done in the next 1 year. Automation and delegation to the max,
Mm,
especially with AI now and so
mm,
many tools. So that is something, and I want to focus on a lot on branding and building the brand.
mm. That's such a mature answer because 90% of the people would answer with a number. You you answered with the steps which would lead to the next number. So, super proud of the fact. And this gets me to my, favorite part of the interview where I share that, for other coaches and from my perspective, being a coach to, so many great coaches, from my perspective, why are you the number one coach? And, why does no one else come close when actually we think about, coaching high functioning women who are killing it in all areas of life, but not health. And you know how one thing which I would like to mention as a side note is that, guys, if Mrinali makes an ad, it always works. It's
Yeah.
like, if someone discovers Mrinali via an ad also, um, and that person gets on a call, chances are that the person converts if they are a good fit. Why does that happen? That is happening because of multiple reasons, but one of the main reasons is her actual mission. She has a real life-changing mindset. And it's always about leading with value. Uh, and I'm not just saying it just like that. She's one of the rare coaches who has actually asked me that, there's this client of mine. So I'm giving you a recent scenario, guys. This is for everybody. And Mrinali recently asked me that, I have a client who has been paying me since a long while, but she's not getting results. I don't want to work with this client anymore. Guys, to get to this level of understanding that, okay, I have to lead with value at all levels, even when someone is ready to pay you. And okay, so let me to simplify. Mrinali had a client who had been working with her since a long while. She was not following anything. And Mrinali was like, okay, I don't want to work with her, irrespective of whether she was paying or not. So the interesting part about this is that, most people, when they start running their business, they just think about money. Okay, if the money is coming in, why not? But in your case, Mrinali, what I've seen is that, 90% of the times, whenever I've seen you stressed in relation to business, because I know whenever you get stressed, you message me. 90% of the times it has been because of client servicing. It has
Yeah.
never been ki yaar, sales nahi ho rahi. It has never been ki yaar, marketing nahi ho rahi. That is because you have always been leading with value, and you have been leading with your own true story, which gets me to the point, because add वाले में context दे देता हूँ, because I just talked about that. That when you have lived that life, when you're living that life,
Yeah.
people connect with you. You don't need that magical script and something like that. For most people, running an ad, it works for maybe 3 to 6 weeks. For Mrinali, one of the ads worked for 6 months, and it was literally,
Yeah.
funnily
Eight
enough,
months.
it was the first ad we created. She was
True.
here in Chandigarh for the event, and it worked for 7 months. And that got me to thinking that, why did that work? And my conclusion has been that, it's because of genuinity and the mission, nothing else. So that is number one,
Right.
real leading with value. Number one is business maturity. One thing which I've seen with Mrinali is that, first she asks very calibrated questions which are always linking to the longer run. Plus, the previous answer which you got, what is the next goal? She did not say that, okay, I want to get to 10 lakhs, I want to get to 8 lakhs. She didn't even say that, I'm looking for, consistent months at 7. She was like, I want to set up systems and processes and build my team. Now, these things would lead to the actual number, which, which makes me realize that, your business maturity, or, emotional quotient, or, you can call it emotional intelligence also, is very high. And,
Right.
that is a very rare thing, according to me. And, I think that helps you coach better also, because, when we started working together, you have been getting results for your clients from day one, even when you had like zero experience as a coach. uh, that way also you have been, getting great results for your clients. And i think I think within the first few weeks of you getting your first client, only you posted your first transformation. So that way, it shows that you have that understanding of people, plus you have understanding of business also. So both of these together become a lethal combination. Third thing is that, you have built your brand in your own style, and you have built a true story. Till today, I didn't know that, it was in your mind till 2000, since 2006, starting your business and everything else. Now I know that, but now I know where the story comes from, because till today I knew that, okay, you have lived that life, you have transformed yourselves while living that, busy woman life, busy job woman life, a demanding career and everything else. But now I understand that, where your brand is coming from, and everything is linked. It's like, nothing in your brand is happening against your will. That means
Yeah.
even if it's sales, it's happening in your style. Even if you're assistant coach, your assistant coach is a copy of how you coach. Right?
Yes.
Obviously, they can't completely replace you, but the system is like, totally Mrinali's brainchild. And so it's coming from a place of, creation. And generally, I just, give three pointers. I have another one added here. That fourth one is confidence. That kind of confidence and, trust in process I look up to you for that, because, that's something which I also need to improvise for myself. And that is what. So,
Thank you.
Mrinali, and none of the things I have said in these last three pointers have been, just for the sake of it. I totally mean that. And I've been observing that since the last 3 years. So, Mrinali, I have a question for you. There will be a lot of people watching this. Maybe they have watched our content or YouTube videos, or maybe they have watched an ad and haven't worked with us so far. Do you have a message for them?
So I have two messages. One is, if you are a high performing, uh, doing really well in your career woman and you're looking to get fit, we are your best bet in the market. And the second thing is that even if you don't, any coach that you sign up with, make sure that they're the right fit for you. That they're, before signing up, make sure that that's the kind of person you see, not just for a 3 month period, but for that person you can keep coming back to again and again. We have had clients who took coaching from us, Yash, and because of certain life
Hmm, hmm,
scenarios, they took a 3 month coaching and us time they
hmm.
couldn't do much. But we kept pushing them, and then they came back to us couple of years later and got
Yes.
the results. So that's the kind of person you want your coach to be, that even if they truly get your problem. That person should
Hmm,
get you, should get your problem, should empathize with where you are in your life, and not be chasing, just ki, okay, I'll get money in the bank, let me just onboard this person. They should not be forcing. Sometimes coaches project themselves on their clients, right? Like, हर
hmm,
client, बहुत सारे clients आके बोलते
hmm,
हैं slow progress चाहिए.
hmm,
So they
hmm,
should meet you where you are at,
hmm.
and should so sign up with somebody like that.
Yes, and one suggestion which I would give is that, for high performing women listening to this, and one thing which I would like to mention is that, I've been a fitness coach since a long while. I am very good at, transforming people who have been, obese for a long period of time. Have more than 20, 30 kgs to lose. And the biggest leverage I had was that, I lived that life myself for first 18 years of my life. I was 44 kgs heavy. E- Exactly like that, Mrinali has lived that life. She has lived that career life. Right now, she's a, high level entrepreneur. She's living that entrepreneur life. She's leading a pack of clients. Leading a pack of team. So she would understand you. So, what I would say is, I wouldn't even say, sign up with Mrinali. What I would say is, give her a follow, book a call with her, and, see if you guys align. Book a call, and I'm pretty confident you would align. And I know Mrinali as a matter of fact that if she does not align with someone, she clearly tells them. Right.
Yeah.
We have had so many conversations where Mrinali asked me that, I don't want to say yes to this person because
Yeah.
maybe I cannot help them, or maybe the vibe is not matching. And so many
Yes.
times Mrinali says no to people. So, if you are, if you know her, if you have seen her, number one, I vouch for her because I've seen her journey from day one till right now. And if you are leading a life like Mrinali led in the past, how she transformed herself and thousands of women now, book a call with her.
Thank you. Thank you, Yash.
Okay, so one more part, by the way. This is my favorite part. So, what are the top three lessons for other fitness coaches who are watching this right now and who want to excel in this space from your perspective? I mean, what are the biggest learnings you have had? And
Yeah.
what are the places where you see other coaches making mistakes? Because you're already a part of community, and I'm pretty sure, coaches ask you also, message you and ask you that, okay, uh, questions or something like that.
Yeah. So my first point is that there are two types of people in this industry. यश, एक तो है
Mm,
जो कोचेस बने हैं बिकॉज दे आर ट्रूली पैशनेट अबाउट फिटनेस एंड दे हैव देयर ओन
yes.
स्टोरी. इफ
Mm,
दैट्स यू, देन यू गोना बी अ ग्रेट कोच. बट इफ यू आर इन दिस बिजनेस बिकॉज चलो ये कर लेते हैं कि लेट्स से कि यू जस्ट ऑप्टेड दिस आउट ऑफ स्कूल, कि हमने
mm,
इसमें बीएससी न्यूट्रिशन किया, एंड देन आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू फाइंड माय फुटिंग, बट यू हैव नो पैशन फॉर हेल्थ. you have never been very diligent about your own health, then you are very unlikely, it's unlikely you'll be able to help anyone. And
Fact.
then also, like, let's say if you have undergone your own transformation but have not excelled technicality, कि आपने अपनी
Hmm.
ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन पुल ऑफ करी है बट आपको साइंस और टेक्निकलिटी नहीं पता है,
Hmm.
then also you will not be a very good coach. So you need to have both. You need to have the technical knowledge, functional knowledge rather, and you need to have a passion for health and fitness. So if that's you, then this market needs you. You'll be a great
Yeah,
coach.
I would like to add one more thing. Sorry to cut you.
Huh.
That, it's very hard to compete in an industry where others are in there for passion. So if you don't have the passion, it won't work out for you because you'll be
Absolutely.
competing with those who are like literally crazy for
Yes.
transforming lives.
एंड मैं अपने टीम मेंबर्स को भी यही बोलती हूँ, असिस्टेंट कोचेस को, कि हमारे
Hmm.
पास जो लोग आ रहे हैं ना, सम ऑफ देम आर
Hmm.
सच सो पैशनेट अबाउट हेल्थ, उनको सब चीजों की कैलोरीज मालूम है, उनको
Hmm.
सारे हैक्स मालूम है, वो ह्यूबरमैन का पॉडकास्ट
Hmm.
सुनते हैं.
Hmm.
सो
Hmm.
वी हैव टू बी वन लेवल अबव देम, एंड दैट्स ओनली पॉसिबल इफ यू ट्रूली लव हेल्थ एंड फिटनेस.
Yes.
So that's the first lesson. Second is that whenever you check your client's progress, don't do surface level check-ins. That's
Hmm.
something that I truly believe in, that it's very simple. एक simple example देती हूँ. Client खाना खाने बाहर जा रहा है, वो आपको menu भेजता है. That
Hmm.
okay, can you tell me what to eat? Good coach
Hmm.
will tick mark ये खा लो. Great coach will tell the logic कि मैं
Hmm.
इसलिए ये खाऊं. So educate your clients. So treat them as fully functioning adults and go very deep in check-ins and in responses that you give. Don't give surface level response to your clients. So that's the second. And third is systems and processes. जितने systems होंगे आपके, उतना आप scale कर सकते हो अच्छे से. So if you want to scale, then you need solid system, solid team members. So hire slow, fire fast, and build a lot of systems and processes.
That is great. So, top three lessons from Mrinali. Golden nuggets. Number one, a passion, else you won't be able to compete with the others. And, people can sense bullshit. And, again, even a coaching business is a long-term business. That means if someone is associating with you right now, if they stay associated with you for months and years, then only your business would truly grow. And that's only possible when you provide a life-changing service. For that, you need a lot of passion. And this can't be faked. A lot of times people say that I have passion, but they're just faking it.
Hmm.
Second, communicate with your clients and educate them. A lot of times coaches think कि यार पैसे आ गए, plan deliver करना मेरा काम हो गया. नहीं. Your work actually starts when your client starts following everything.
So
And
true.
don't hold back from educating the client because you're teaching the client how to fish rather than serving a fish platter.
Absolutely. I tell
So
them
please,
that I don't want
yes.
repeat customer. I don't want you to come to me again.
Hmm.
So I want to educate you.
And ironically, more you educate them, more they would want to stay with you in the
So
longer
true.
run, more they would come back.
So
Uh,
true.
and third is to build a legendary business like Mrinali's, you need to set up systems, processes, and a great team. Again, for the team, you can take a call whether you wanted to be a one person business or have a lean team or a big team, depending upon your own style. That's one discussion I was having with Mrinali recently. But systems and processes should be tight. Uh, would you recommend Mrinali? The most important question for the day: would you recommend FBA to those who want to set up systems and processes like yours?
1000%. Because first is business, like I said, it's such a lonely experience. If you have somebody to tell you, ye karo, ye mat karo, it's not like people are not smart enough to do it by themselves.
Hmm.
ना यश
Hmm.
डाइट भी कोई चैट जीपीटी पे आज तो कोई भी डाइट निकाल सकता है
Everyone
डाइट.
knows eat less, move more. Even if you go to the
Yes,
road, ask a random person, random kid, how can someone
everybody
lose weight?
knows.
Eat less, move more. Yes.
Exactly. But हो तो नहीं रहा है ना. I
Mm.
mean, if
Mm.
information is not the problem. If lack of information, if there is enough information for all of us to be billionaires with six-pack abs, but
Mm.
most of us are neither. So
Right.
that means execution gap. And execution gap fix करने के लिए is where mentorship and coaching comes in. You can prevent struggling, failing, stumbling, and wasting years of hard, work and frustration that comes with that if you sign up with FBA. And the most important thing, आपने बोला कि मुझे इतना ट्रस्ट कैसे आया? I reach out to you guys for help and you are so prompt with your replies. कॉर्पोरेट में भी नहीं देखा मैंने ऐसे प्रॉम्प्ट रिप्लाईज। मैं तो खुद एचआर थी, मेरे पास इतनी
Hmm,
क्वेरीज आती
hmm,
थी। So
hmm,
the just the fact the whole your if somebody reaches out to me and asks about FBA, the first thing I say is you guys are super professional. You
hmm,
guys are not कि पैसे ले लियो तो हो गया। Prompt replies, the team is, and that is reflected in all of your team members, you know, चाहे वो गुनीत हो, चाहे वो
hmm,
अमित हो, मैसेज करो
hmm,
फटाफट रिप्लाई आता है, फटाफट प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व
hmm,
करने के लिए कोई ना कोई खड़ा है आपकी। So that is there. Then there is a whole library of systems and
hmm.
processes. And you,
While the Guneet is sitting here only next to me.
oh, अच्छा,
We are building a system here. So I'm
okay,
gonna tell him
hi
that, okay.
गुनीत। So सुबह के 7 बजे मैंने उस दिन गुनीत को मैसेज किया, उसका फटाफट
Hmm.
रिप्लाई आ गया, and I was like सही है ये तो।
So that is good. Well, by the way, guys, listening to this, we don't guarantee that you'll get a reply at 7 a.m. But yeah, we do at our end, we at our end do try that, we just, we are able to give our 100%. Because, one thing which I have principally understood is that if my clients are happy, I would be happy. If our teammates are happy when clients are happy. And, it's a vicious circle. And that's how the business grows, I guess.
The other thing is you guys show the mirror. आप when I come to you, मुझे सबसे ज़्यादा लगता है कि मैं आपको किसी को भी बोल सकती हूँ यार देखो ये है मैं ये कर रही हूँ, it's not
Hmm,
working, where am I going wrong? Tell me, and you will
hmm,
show us the mirror कि देखो ये गलती
hmm,
है, इसको
hmm,
फिक्स करो फटाफट। That
hmm,
is so great to have that you have somebody to tell you exactly where you're going wrong. हमारे अपने कितने blind
hmm.
spots होते हैं।
Definitely.
So that's that. And yeah, I owe so much to you guys, to you, Yash, for constantly being there, for being a voice of reason, for giving us confidence, for picking me up on bad days. And it's just been so great. And I'm so fortunate for that one Instagram post that I came across on 2017, which made me follow you.
I know. That is good. Do you remember what post was
Yes,
that?
I remember. It was
What
a
was the
post of
post?
you gifting a Louis Vuitton to Ishita.
Oh, Rakhi post.
Yeah. And I was like,
Okay, so you
why?
stumbled across our brand through that post. That reminds me that, I should be posting more personal life stuff.
I was like, because मेरा impression था fitness business, if I do 30-40,000 मिल
Hmm,
जाएगा महीने
hmm,
का.
hmm,
I didn't
hmm.
know fitness business owners could earn this much.
This is actually interesting. Uh, that is very cool. So, Mrinali, first of all, thank you for your time. And I know you have
My pleasure.
inspired so many people. I feel so inspired right now. I have always been inspired by you because of a lot of reasons, but today knowing the whole story in depth inspired me so much, and it's gonna inspire so many women to number one, fix their health, take a leap towards what they want to do in their life. As an entrepreneur, they would look up to you as a mother because literally you have managed that front very well. As a partner, you have managed that front very well. So a lot of people would want to actually connect with you. So what is your Instagram, and how can women contact you for transformation, and how can they book a call with you?
So my Instagram is fitness with Mrinali, and they can book a call with me by just sliding into my DMs and just DMing me the word fit, and me or somebody from my team will reach out to them and take it on from there.
That is awesome, and such a great hour. I feel so inspired. Although this is
Thank
a
you.
Saturday, but I feel inspired.
Great
And guys,
Saturday.
there would be Mrinali's profile's link in the caption, plus a link of our own Instagram page if you want to join FBA, if you got inspired by this. And guys, keep on
Join
watching the
FBA.
interviews. Yeah, thanks for the pitch, by the way.
Of course. My pleasure.
Yes.
Least I could do.
Awesome then, guys. Those who are watching it, guys, I hope you got a lot of value. But value is useless if you don't apply it. So learn some principles from Mrinali and start applying that in your business. And if you need a help, just DM us also and help our business grow. And thank you all, and see you soon.
Thank you. Bye. See you.